So today I'm going to be reacting to GQ's online video about personal style and you finding your personal style. Everybody's going to have their own flow and their own style. And the demographic that GQ has as far as their employees is concerned, younger demographic, the now. That new gen that's tapped into the latest artists, SoundCloud rappers, Instagram influencers, and things of that nature. Obviously, I'm probably double the age of half of their staff. But I'm tapped into a good amount of current jewelry styles, and I may or may not agree with them. So today we're gonna be reacting to the personal recommendations of these GQ stylists or editors and see if I either agree or I need to step my style game up. Let's roll my motherfucking music so we can check out GQ's jewelry personal style recommendations.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Good morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. This is your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. So let's jump right into this video and see if I agree with some of the style recommendations. Maybe I'll pick up some pointers and maybe you guys can see if any of these styles ring true to you. So let's go.
Hey everyone, this is GQ Recommends, and today we're going to talk about jewelry and how we style it.
We wanted to talk about jewelry because, as you might have heard, we're currently in the midst of a men's jewelry renaissance. There's a ton of different options out there across a wide array of different prices and styles. So even if you don't necessarily think you're a jewelry guy, chances are there's something out there, whether it's a ring, a bracelet, maybe even an earring, that you're gonna like.
All right, so one of the things that popped up in that screenshot was pearls. Now, this might be the old washed up version of me really speaking, but I don't get the whole pearl vibe. And maybe my style preference and my opinion will change going forward. But the pearl thing is really all about the youth right now. I do see a lot of dudes rocking a lot of pearl shit. And it's wild, like all these former female or feminine type pieces are now becoming more universally accepted because of these artists and them wearing them. You know, rappers like Young Thug started wearing like multiple pearl necklaces and shit like that, pearl earrings, really bringing them out, and now somehow that trickled into the mainstream. I'm personally not there yet. You're not gonna catch me wearing pearl nothing, because that's just not my personal vibe, but hey, to each their own, right? Let's go.
I really like jewelry because it can add like a finishing touch to your outfit. There are a lot of trends out there and it's sort of like the Wild West, really. You can kind of do whatever you want as long as you're showing off your personal style. It's a choose your own adventure.
Okay.
My personal jewelry style, it's pretty scant. It's pretty minimal. It's usually one necklace, actually usually just tucked into my shirt, and like one ring. Both of these pieces are made by a friend of mine who's a jewelry maker. Her brand is called Aveda Studio. Both of these are silver. I'm usually a silver jewelry kind of guy. Not that I'm opposed to gold, but because I tend to wear just two pieces at a
His style screams like I just woke up out of bed, like the shirt with the white tee under and then these corduroy style pants. And he does rock silver jewelry, as he stated that's some of his preferences. And I just noticed his horseshoe ring, I feel like that shit had pearls in it. And I'm kind of like, Aveda Studios, I've never heard of them. I will be checking them out to see, because it looks like if these are some of the pieces as he indicated from Aveda Studios, it seems to be more of a minimalistic brand, which a lot of these brands are leaning towards that minimalism style look, which I don't completely disagree with. Sometimes you just gotta tone it back a little bit, but tone it back with pearls?
At the time, I generally don't like to mix it. You don't have to spend a lot to get into the jewelry game. That's what's great about, say, like a brand like All Saints. If you're out like looking for vintage jewelry and you see a little engraving that says 925, that lets you know that that piece is actually sterling silver. It's a higher quality piece of silver. It's not mixed with other metals. It can be really affordable. I really like this piece actually. Sort of pearls, sort of like a
925 is mixed with other metals.
A classic military dog tag, but without the dog tag. Right around the $100 range. If you have a little bit more of a budget, Maple Co. is a really great brand stylistically and price point wise, a lot of great value there. Some of the pieces range from like a classic signet style ring that's never going to go out of style to something maybe a little out there. This guy's kind of a horseshoe design with inset pearls. You know, I'm not really a pearl guy, but
I'm not really a pearl guy, but I'm wearing pearls. To each their own. I don't get it. I like the signet ring. I completely agree that the signet style ring is definitely something that's gonna live on forever. It's super classy. There's a multitude of variations of signet rings and they are super fly. I do appreciate them. I have maybe 1 or 2 signet rings that I could remember. None of them have pearls though.
Actually really like how they've done that here. Usually pieces float around like $200, $300, something like that. If you have a very large budget, the next step up would be something like Good Art Hollywood. This is a brand that makes all their own jewelry in LA, in their studios. They do it all by hand, and it's top-notch stuff. This bracelet,
I'll
it's
look 'em up.
heavy. Not only is it like pretty thick, it feels weighty. This is the stuff you see like Sylvester Stallone wearing. Apparently he's a really big fan. You'll see him decked out in all that stuff, which the style like totally makes sense for a guy like him.
I would describe my jewelry style as extra. I got 2 pearl necklaces, a biker chain. So this is like a pointy chain. And then I got a Chanel pearl necklace as well.
Okay, well, listen, shout out to the big dudes because I'm a big dude. I was a really, really big dude. So getting big dudes to style is very difficult. I mean, as a former big dude and still a big dude with huge tits, I understand how difficult it is. That's why I kind of got into the accessory space. Like, as a big dude, your clothing options are kind of minimal, unfortunately. But if you style them accordingly with some dope pieces of jewelry, no matter what the price point is, it could definitely pop out. And I feel him on that. I can't. It's like, I can't get into the pearls, and that's a lot of pearls. I like the Chanel pearl necklace vibe, like, on my chick, but it's kind of like Young Thug meets, like, ASAP Rocky meets LA's, like, night, like, I don't know, like, I just can't do it, but I like, you know, he's got a dope grill. Hopefully they'll talk about that, because that looks pretty fly.
Always like the idea of Chanel pearls, that like elegance of it. This is like usually what I wear on a regular basis. When I come into the office, it's all on me. And then I got in my mouth, I got a grill. My jeweler, Elon from Gabby and Elon Jewelry, made my grill. I have it in sections. I don't like consistent things. I wanted something that kind of stands out. When you see it, you're not gonna be like, oh, you just went for the typical like rapper or so-and-so piece. You said, okay, now you put some thought process into it and you did something different. That's what I did for this. So it's 3, it's 2 in the middle, and it's all 3 on the other side. So if I ever wanna like exchange parts, I could like add stuff in and out.
That's very dope. I like that idea. That's a very cool concept, very creative. For somebody who likes to switch up jewelry, totally respect that. He did the grills in sections. So it's what, I think he said a single or a 2, then 3 and single, or whatever that case is, but it's broken up so he can interchange the pieces. That's really dope. I like that. That really makes it your own. It's not your consistent gold grill or diamond grill or whatever. That's just one-stop shop. You have a variety of different pieces. I think that's extremely creative, very well done. I personally have never seen it, or maybe I have and I didn't know it was sectional pieces, but the grills look very nicely done. I don't know who the jeweler is, but great work. And I see that there's an ASAP Rocky link, so I told y'all the pearls and ASAP is just a thing.
In the celebrity world, ASAP Rocky kind of influenced my style, from how I dress to even the idea of wearing pearls. Just being from Harlem, being from uptown, you want to be jiggy, like you want to be fly. Like the idea of wearing pearls and doing these different things is the embodiment of Harlem. Seeing somebody like ASAP Rocky going with pearls or with pink is groundbreaking and is defining new masculinity. You dress how you want to dress. Like you wear what you want to wear. You put on what you want to put on. If it's fly to you, then it's fly. It don't care about what everybody else thinks. Copy.
I respect that wholeheartedly, and I completely agree with what he's saying. Wear whatever the fuck you want to wear. If you think it's fly, wear it. And he's pulling that shit off. Just because I don't agree with the whole pearl flex, he likes it. He feels confident in it. It helps him stand out from everybody else. If that's his daily wear fit like he states it is, then who the fuck am I to knock it? Just because it's not my personal style, I'm not gonna shit on it just because I don't get it. It's kind of like us criticizing our parents for not understanding hip-hop music or shit like that. Like, you know, we gotta get with the times. I'm just not there yet. Who knows? Maybe that'll change at some point. But I don't know. But I respect it. He's definitely the most pop out so far, but there's more to see. Let's go.
There are a lot of cool brands making pearls these days, and one of them is Fry Powers with this cool pearl necklace. This is really dope. Like, this is really rock star, and then you add the grungy element to it. So you got two looks in one. This is also from Fry Powers as well. If you want to take it to another level, you see the pink enamel. It reminds me of Killer Cam, Dipset, Real Harlem stuff. This is really cool. This is really dope. If you haven't copped any jewelry, you're still trying to figure out what to do, what my lane is in this, just start. Take that step forward. Like, take the step forward and cop it. Cool as...
Yo, I gotta respect this dude. Number one, that Cuban looked like ass. I mean, it's a cheapy Cuban. I get the enamel portion. There was pink enamel. I know it was probably difficult for you to see in the video because it was difficult for me to see in the video. So there's pink enamel there just to pop off, and he's paying homage to Killer Cam. Clearly, he's from Harlem. So shout out to the whole Dipset team. Big dude is wearing leather pants. My brother, that's just gangster upon gangster. Like, fat thigh motherfuckers like me, like, that shit... That's a forest fire waiting to happen. But I respect, yo, he's on his own energy. He's on his own fly shit. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, he's bringing like that fucking heavy D swag back. I respect it. I'm respected. I like his style. I just don't agree with all the pearls.
What you make it. So if you like something and you feel like it's dope, purchase it.
My own taste in jewelry skews towards the classic with a little bit of personality mixed in. I don't really want to buy something, especially if I'm investing a significant...
So I don't know who Money is. The fit though, the jersey with the long sleeve or the sweater under and it's tucked up with the jersey on top. Then he's got the throwback corduroy browns. Okay.
An amount of money in it and then not want to wear it ever again in a year's time. The bracelet here, these are Japanese glass beads and freshwater pearls. This is from a brand called San Angelo, which is really cool and also way more affordable than it should be. Everything else I'm wearing right now is vintage, sadly, if you're trying to buy the exact same one. This is a necklace from the early 50s, immediately post-World War II. There's a Jewish star on there that says Zion, which means Zion. This is an Omega watch that's really small because it's actually a woman's style, which I...
Gorgeous Omega watch. I'm probably mistaken. It could be the DeVille or Seville. I don't think it's a constellation, but it does look like it's about 34 millimeter, maybe 36, but he has a very small wrist, so it could be. I love a vintage timepiece. I mean, talk about exclusivity. If you get a nice worn vintage timepiece, it can be sick. And a brand like Omega, I mean, you just got pedigree, vintage, and affordability, as those watches range in the space of under 3,000. So very nice piece, and you can customize it or get a nice worn leather strap or a custom strap. There's a couple of bespoke peoples, including Aaron's Bespoke, which everybody talks about up in Canada. There's also a few online shops. There's another shop in downtown New York City. I forgot the name right off rip, but they also make the bespoke straps like right in front of you. So very dope. The painted nails though, I can't get jiggy with this shit.
I tend to gravitate towards much smaller faces than are popular right now. I have 3 earrings. My mom is not happy about any of them, but I think this was my way to compensate for a lack of tattoos. It's a lot more common for men to have a single earring, like some of the ones we see here. You might have caught a glimpse of like a dangly pearl earring on the person you follow on TikTok, various other influencers of the Gen Z set. I didn't really want to go for that look. I think it's very cool if you can pull it off, but this seemed a little bit more discreet to me. The brand that makes the 2 necklaces furthest from me is LU. It's a Miami-based brand that rose to prominence because Harry Styles is a huge fan, but Justin Bieber wears them all the time. They're really cool, and they're pretty affordable given the make and the type of construction that they use. They use a lot of freshwater pearls, which are really hot in men's jewelry right now, but they don't usually do exclusively pearls. They usually mix them with a glass bead of sort, which I think has kind of this crafty DIY vibe that feels like something your best friend would have made you at summer camp. I think one of the best parts about the men's jewelry renaissance is that there is this explosion of kooky, unabashedly fun jewelry. And if that seems like it's tough to wear, I think it actually pairs really well with the more conventional gold and silver jewelry that you might be eyeing. So maybe start out with something on the tamer side, but then don't be afraid to layer them and mix and match.
I don't necessarily agree with that statement personally. Like, if it's kooky, then it's easier to wear with more of a traditional type style like gold. I don't see, I mean, I like the whole aspect of contrasting metals and adding elements of color. I do like that aspect, but if it goes too kooky or I don't see that. Maybe I would have to, based on his explanation, I would have to see how he would combine them, because I don't think those freshwater pearls with those glass beads go personally along with that vintage Omega. It's just two completely different worlds that I personally don't see colliding or meshing together. That's my opinion, but let's move on to the next one.
I think first and foremost, I'm a watch guy. That's the number one thing I don't leave the house without. I've always just hated having like bare wrists as a kid, and then I started stealing my dad's watch in high school and doing like a 2-watch thing, which was a look that didn't work out. But a few years back, I was looking for like a new brand to go to. My boy Nate put me onto William L. It's this brand that started from one of the head designers of Longines. I always wore chains as a kid. I had a gold cross that my mom got me. 10 years ago, I started trying to search out what I wanted to start wearing as an adult. I landed on like just the classic gold rope, which is something that kind of never goes out of style. The first rope was really long, which made sense at the time, but then obviously, if you look at like hip hop culture and rappers now, chokers have become the thing. I definitely wanted to shorten it a little bit, so this chain is my first chain shortened. And then because I'm OD skinny, there's like some leftover, so got a second bracelet here. And then I started adding pendants to the mix. So this one, I'm not a big astrology guy, but I'm a Leo. You know, I wear a lot of black, so the onyx pendant always looks cool offsetting that.
So I like the kid's jewelry style. I can resonate the most with his personal style because it definitely fits my own, the multiple chains. He has them a little bit choker, but he is a thin body frame, so it will look really good on him. Most thin body, small neck, fucking 14, 13-inch necks, that they would look great with those smaller chains. Rope chain, absolutely a hitter. It's a classic. It will never die. It's up there along with the Cuban. I feel that the Cuban will never die. I think the icy Cubans and all that shit will die way before any traditional clean-cut Cuban. I've never heard of the brand William L, but he said it was by the maker of Longines, which is an amazing watch, an affordable watch, but a great watch brand. I do like the multiple chain aspects with little pendants, kind of like my micro pendant style vibe with chains without them. I like the multiple layer stacking. He has a good style. I'm feeling it so far. No fucking pearls, thank God. At least so far.
Polos are cool because you can kind of just like stack everything and they kind of just lay tastefully under the collar on any given day. I'll go out with at least 1 or 2 of the short ones and then 1 pendant, just depending on the fit. And then just a Cuban bracelet to kind of go a little Tony Soprano with it. Rings were kind of like my first foray into new territory. The thing about rings, it's like once you start with one, it kind of snowballs. I'm probably gonna stop here. I don't want to go full like Mr. T. A 6-piece is kind of a really aggressive.
Nobody talks about Mr. T anymore because the majority of the people have no idea who Mr. T is. Mr. T was revolutionary neck profile. Lord neck profile could only be given to Mr. T, the OG of OGs. Can you imagine the strength of this man's neck? I don't care if those pieces were hollow, which I doubt they were. Well, I doubt all of them were. If he's alive still, which I think he is, I hope he is, knock on wood. At an elderly age, that man was still rocking big ass chains, so his neck is crazy. That is Lord neck profile. And at the time that he was wearing the type of jewelry that he was on mainstream television, that man is a GOAT. Google Mr. T if you don't know who Mr. T is, and then you will talk about neck profile for real, for real.
Thing to wear. I'm not like Travis Scott or anything. So I came up with the idea to just do this 2-piece thing that blends in almost imperceptibly. And I went to Gabby Elon to do that. They do everyone from like LeBron to Pusha T to anyone like me who walks in on the street. I'm sure they had a field day just doing this. It's probably like the simplest thing they do. So if you're thinking about getting into jewelry, the first thing to identify is like which piece of your body to accentuate first. Ask yourself, am I the watch guy? Am I a chain guy or dog tag? Focus there, and then you can build up to adding rings or bracelets. It's cool to find your personal style one piece at a time.
Well, shout out to the GQ personal style experts when it comes to the jewelry space. Now, there are very cool styles. These guys definitely have their own vibe and their own energy, and they're definitely of the now generation, right? They're all younger, finding their own style, I'm sure still. I don't think a lot of these guys are going to keep this same style the older that they get, as we all tend to change. But these are great starting off points, and there was a lot of valid, great points made in these videos, like finding your own personal style, choose an item in the body part that you want to accentuate, whether it be a chain, bracelet, or watch. Find your own personal style, and the point is start. Budget should not be the major concern. It should be more so not having to blow the bag right from jump. You can get affordable stuff, as most of these pieces that are shown here are affordable items. Embrace who you truly are. Once again, just because I don't personally agree or it's not my personal style doesn't make it hot or not. Clearly, all these guys have their own personal style, and I think GQ did an amazing job with this video. Shout out to GQ, well done. Let me know if you guys picked up any styling tips for this video, and what styling tips are some that you guys recommend. I love y'all motherfuckers from the heart, and I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know who it is, biggest in the game. Smooches.
What's fresh? Who's best? Wanna know who's gonna pass the test? For the fly gun holder, money folder, Motorola start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.